Hey YouTube, this is your girl Jasmine Marie, and today I am coming at you with actually, you know what? It's tonight. Tonight, I am coming at you all with a review on Insecure Season 5, Episode 1. Y'all, let me sip my seltzer. I'm seltzer obsessed. I'm drinking Press, which is one of my favorite seltzers. So yes, let's dive into this episode. So finally, it's here, guys. Insecure is back on TV after a whole, what? I think we waited like 2 years for Insecure. So we have not gotten an episode in 2 years, and this is the last season. Cry, I'm gonna cry. But nonetheless, this was a really good episode opener. Very slow paced, Mally, just to get us into what's probably about to go down. So the episode, let's get right into it. The episode starts up with Kelly, Derek, and Tiffany all on the highway. Looks like they're going somewhere. Where they're going to their 10-year class reunion at Stanford. So it starts out with them in the car. Tiffany and Derek are in the car, as well as Kelly, and they're just talking about how they're looking forward to having a great weekend. They don't want to deal with Issa drama. They don't want to deal with Molly drama, yada, 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 yada. Okay. And then we see Issa arrive in San Francisco. She arrives at the airport, so she goes by air. So I don't know how Molly got there now that I think about it. I don't know. But Kelly, Derek, and Tiffany drove, and Issa flew. So starts up, they're there at the class reunion. They all meet up, they see each other. They're like, hey, for their, 10-year class reunion of college, right? So, they're just talking about the weekend, what they're going to do, yada, yada, yada. They see their friend Cheyenne, which I guess Molly, Issa, and Cheyenne all used to be in some type of group together. Maybe they used to rap or something like that. So Cheyenne is on the dance floor, breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. So she's talking to them, talking about how she done snuck in because she ain't paying to get to be there. All this funny stuff or whatever. And, it just takes you back to, like, when you were in college. I was thinking about, like, when I was in college and that first year and how they were just talking about their years on campus and all that good stuff. All that jazz. So then, Molly, Derek and these two guys and Molly... Does Molly walk up? I think Derek was hanging with these two guys, and then Molly walks up. One of the guys' name is Omar, recently divorced. So he's trying to, I don't know if he's trying to holler at Molly, get with Molly. I don't really know what the deal, the schmizzle is with them. But something's going on where, like, they've been communicating, and Molly is pretty much getting into her own head. She's wondering, like, why she wants to talk to him. How did he fuck up his divorce? Or did she fuck up divorce? Like, his ex-wife or whatever. So, I guess they flirty, chatty or whatever. They used to be friends with benefits, maybe when they were in college or something like that. Because I do not remember him being mentioned in, like, previous seasons and episodes. So, now that they're at the 10-year reunion, I'm sure they mean that, like, when they were in college, that Molly and the guy Omar were friends with benefit. So Molly and him, they exchange a few words, they flirt or whatever. And then Kelly, she's like going through the yearbook, or what is it? I guess it's the yearbook. It's like a memoir book, I guess. So Kelly, I guess she wants to be remembered for whatever else, but child, they remember Kelly for being the queen of the do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg. They said Kelly is the stanky leg queen, honey. So yeah, then they start doing the stanky leg. So Cheyenne, what's her name? Cheyenne and Tiffany and Kelly are all do the stanky leg, do the stanky leg, hey, hey. They're doing the stanky leg, etc., etc. And then it does a throwback. So Issa goes to the bathroom and, you know, her little mirror wraps or whatever. So she sees herself in the mirror, her younger self in the mirror. Sis had braces. And she's, you know, doing what she does, talking to her younger self in the mirror. And while she's talking to herself in the mirror, she's like, all right, you go first. You go first. Okay, what you got going on? You know, doing like what she does. It was a funny moment. It was cute. It was real cute. So then that scene is done. It's so funny because you know what? I haven't done this in a really long time, but I used to legit like talk to myself. Actually, have I done that? I don't know. But I definitely used to like talk to myself, like have full blown conversations, like how Issa does that in the mirror. I used to do that too, but I wasn't in the mirror. I could just be like laying in the bed, like literally just having a conversation with myself. So that's relatable. One thing that I also like really like about Insecure, I feel like every single thing in Insecure is relatable. And I like how the fashions like were on point. Molly in that orange, that was fire. But yeah. So then pretty much the episode goes into Issa is going to be on the panel for the 10th year class reunion, and she's on the panel discussing entrepreneurship and basically having her own business. She did a terrible job while on the panel. They were asking her questions, and sis, it's like she didn't rehearse. Maybe she didn't know what the questions was gonna be, but she did terrible, which is also relatable because sometimes when it's time to do public speaking, you know, you think you have all the answers and they ask a question and then your answer has nothing to do with what you thought it was gonna be, right? Anyway, so sis is on the panel. She's answering these questions. She's answering these questions terribly. And then they ask her, like, how did you know you made it as an entrepreneur or whatever? And she's like, her answer is real, like, well, I don't know that I made it. Every day you wake up, you know, you're pretty much not guaranteed X, Y, and Z. And whenever she's talking, the crowd is like not clapping, and her friends are clapping. So those are some real friends. Yes, for real friends out here in the world. And then Issa and Molly, they have a moment. So pretty much after the panel, Tiffany says that her and Derek are going to the AKA party or whatever. And Tiffany's like, Molly, you going? And Molly's like, oh, I'm going to just keep it low key or whatever because she wanted to have some time with Issa. So her and Issa, they go to maybe this like little mixer thing and they steal beers. They steal beers. They steal beers. They get 2 each. They probably supposed to get 1. They get 2 each. So they're at the mixer and they're talking and they have a moment and Molly like, you know, asks her like, are they good? And hold on, before that, I saw Issa rocking a Teflar bag in the thing and I was like, yes, Teflar, yes. She had on look like the baby blue or maybe it was like like the ocean, a turquoise. It could have been one of them. Supporting them black designers. I'm rooting for everybody black. All right, I see you, East. So yeah, her and Molly have a moment. You know, Molly's asking her like, so, you know, how you doing? Like, and Molly expresses to her like what you, pretty much like, oh, I'm so in my head about Omar and, you know, I'm wondering who effed up. Did he F up the relationship or did she F up the relationship? Why am I in my own head? And she's telling Issa like how her answers were real in the panel and how her answers inspired her. So it's like, you know, they're having that real good friendship. Also, Molly had previously asked Kelly, like, how long did it take for you and Tiffany to get back on track when you guys kind of had your friendship break or whatever? And Tiffany expressed to her, not Tiffany, oh my gosh, excuse me. My sisters. Y'all know it's late for me. What time? It's like 10. It's like 10, almost 10:30. So that's late for me. So I get real around like, you know, 10-ish. But yeah, so Tiffany, so Molly asked Kelly, like, you know, how long did it take for you and Tiffany to get out of your friendship stink? And Tiffany was just like, oh, you know, it was a lot of pretty much fakeness. Like, I had to pretend, laugh at her jokes. But, you know, eventually we got back there. Over time, you guys would get back there or whatever. So Molly's like, okay, I hear you pretty much. And then it gets to a point where Molly actually asked Issa, like, are we going to be okay? And Issa, you know what? Issa did not answer that fucking question. Issa did not answer the question when Molly asked her, but she did speak around it, so it sounded like they were gonna be okay. And then it was like, they were having a moment in the car, so then it flips, and then they're in the car headed to a party, and the girl Cheyenne is with them, and Kelly's just talking about, did y'all know that the band didn't even do anything for me? So I guess she thought that the band was going to do something special for her. She was like, they just remember something about like what instrument I played, or blah 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 blah. So then and the girl, she was like, and whatever girl said that the only thing she remembered about me is that I was allergic to kale. So then they make a little joke about kale, Cheyenne, Molly, and Issa, and Kelly gets all mad and in a little stink, and basically like, you know, nobody takes her serious, so she gets in a little funk, but she quickly gets out of it. So before they go to the party, they're like, oh, y'all know they be putting water in them drinks, so let's stop to the liquor store and let's get our own liquor. So Molly, the girl Cheyenne, and Issa get out at the liquor store. Tell me why these bitches get robbed, okay? Robbed. So they get ready to go to the liquor store, and child, they get robbed. And the guy said something while robbing them, and they were like, shy? And then they kind of like look at Cheyenne, and they like, what's going on? Child, Cheyenne was robbing their ass. Cheyenne had their asses set up to get robbed, and had done flip sides and was like, Molly, give me your shoes. So she jumped on the side with the robbers. She set their asses up, stole Molly's shoes, took them girls' purses and everything. They were a lot calmer than I would have been, because they got back in the car and they laughed that shit off with Tiffany and Kelly. They laughed it off. Ha ha, he he, ha ha, we got robbed. But you know what? That was a real good moment, because you see like that the friendship is still there. And you know, that's how it is. When you have really strong friendships, you and your friends can go without talking for X amount of time. Even if y'all find yourself in a situation where like the friendship is kind of like there's a like funky in it, but like when you're true friends, that's how your friendship is. Like, you know, you can get out of a funk, you can get out of anything, and like there is like the smallest amount of stuff that can make the largest amount of stuff, I mean, that can actually make you laugh, and that can actually bring that friendship back together. So like when you really have good friendships, value them things, because I'm telling you, sometimes I go months without speaking to some of my friends, and then when we do talk, it's like, girl, we was just talking yesterday, like nothing. And it's like no reason like why we wouldn't talk. It's just time. You know, we're pretty much all parents, we all work, so you know, just life gets the best of us. We get busy, and you know, when we do check in, we like check in. We like kiki-kiing, we laughing, we talking about this, girl, how you doing or whatever. So that's just really what like real friendship is. And I definitely value my friendships and my real friends. So that was a really cool moment to see them in the car, laughing and kind of getting back on track to their friendship. So then Molly asks Issa what she thinks about Omar, and Issa just, you know, gives her opinion or whatever. So that was cool that, you know, even though they've been going through what they've been going through, Molly still felt comfortable enough to ask Issa like, oh, well, what you think about Omar? Like, what should I do? She's still reaching out to Issa for the advice and on the friendship level and things of that nature. So that was really good to see. And then lastly, pretty much what happens was Lawrence picked Issa up from the airport. Y'all, when I saw Lawrence and Issa, I was like, I live in me some Lawrence and Issa. But like when that kiss, they kissed. So he got out of the car to get her bag and to get her or whatever, and they kissed, and you could kind of tell like she wasn't really feeling it, or like it was some tension in between them. So then, you know, they're driving down the street real quiet, real awkward. He's like, look at the moon. She's like, oh yeah, it's so close, which is funny because the other night it was like a full moon and it was like real close to the earth or whatever. So then they get kind of quiet again, and then he says to her, do you think that Thai place is open? She's like, no, with everything going on, I'm pretty sure it's closed. But I still get the text messages. So, you know, she makes a joke out of a situation. That kind of lightened the mood a little bit. So it was like, ha ha, kiki, ha ha moment or whatever. She was like, maybe they got like automated text messages or whatever. So then they get to Issa's house. They get out of the car. Issa looks at Lawrence. Lawrence is looking at Issa. Issa's like, I had some time to think. And silence, 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 silence. Lawrence looks at her and says, I know. And silence, 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 silence. Issa grabs her suitcase and walks off. So that sets it up for the next episode really, really nicely. So pretty much all in all, this episode was a good opener. It wasn't like a, whoa. It leaves you to like, oh, I want to see what's going to happen next week. Because we ended off with Lawrence. We ended off season 4 with Lawrence basically being pregnant, or excuse me, getting somebody pregnant. Condola pregnant. So now this episode ended off with Issa ending the relationship once again. So it's interesting to see how the season's going to play out with that and all the stuff that's going to come along with that. Just in my personal life, I definitely could not, if I was in a relationship with somebody and me and my boyfriend took a break and he got somebody pregnant, I could not take him back. That's just my personal opinion. I also would not advise my friends to get involved with someone or take their persons back. I wouldn't advise them not to, but I wouldn't advise them to take them back. I would only give my opinion, my feelings, and I would let them roll with whatever one they felt was best for them. But I know if it were me, I cannot do that. If we were together and you were to have a child, that's just not for me. That's just not for me. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So that was Insecure season 5, episode 1. We're gonna be in for a good season. I'm looking forward to all to come. I am so excited. Insecure is back on TV. I've been without Insecure for 2 years. This is like one of my favorite shows for sure on TV. Has been for the last 5 years. And I'm so excited. And I just can't wait for what's to come. So that's it, guys. Y'all have a great night. And bye-bye.